It's about this time of year when we feel a pressure start building. The new year is approaching, and we start thinking about all the ways that we can change ourselves, fix ourselves, or reinvent ourselves. I've been there. This is such a common way that we approach the beginning of every new year, believing that we need to do something to shift ourselves or change ourselves, that we need to be better. The whole idea of new year, new you is so popular. And yet, there's something about the idea of needing to be someone different than who we already are that sets us up from the very beginning for failure. And although I have fallen into this trap myself many years in the past, where I get this spark of motivation and I start thinking about all the goals and all the habits and all the changes that I'm going to make, only to find myself in the second or third week of January completely off track and in a state of self-sabotage. And the story I would tell myself is that I don't have enough discipline, or I'm a failure, or I must just be broken. When in reality, we don't actually need a new year, new you mentality. Instead, we need a new, more secure relationship to self. And that's what I want to talk about today in this video. It is so easy to fall into the trap of feeling that there's something about ourselves that isn't up to par, or that if we could only change X, Y, and Z about ourselves, then we would be worthy. The idea that if we just lose a little bit of weight, then we'll be worthy. Or if I can just stop overthinking or being less reactive, then I'll be worthy. But our bodies aren't built this way. Our nervous systems certainly are not built this way. And this is not the way that healing and transformation actually happen. Because when we are approaching the new year or transformation in this way, it's coming from a place of pressure or self-rejection. And those two avenues will never lead to sustained change. Because even if in the short run we can force ourselves into changing our habits or showing up in different ways, ultimately, at some point, those systems fail because our bodies and nervous systems can't learn to hold it. They can't regulate around it because it doesn't feel safe, and it certainly doesn't feel familiar. So this year, I propose a new framework. Instead of thinking of new year, new you, thinking more in terms of new year, more secure you. Or instead of New Year's resolutions, thinking of it as New Year self-revelations. Because what we really want to do is to start to build a more secure and loving connection to ourselves. It's not about changing who we are. It's about realigning and getting to know and understand the you that's already there. Because growth and expansion cannot happen from a place of self-judgment or self-criticism. The only way to really sustain any lasting change or transformation is to come at it from a place of curiosity, self-love, and understanding, and helping our nervous system build the capacity to hold this new version of ourselves and to be able to build sustainable ways of showing up in this new capacity from a place of love and kindness and nurturing. And so when we feel tempted to fall back into these old paradigms, it is really important for us to stop and notice that pattern and then to shift the way that we see ourselves. The first and primary relationship we have is always to self. And this relationship is often the most overlooked and neglected relationship. We go out into the world building relationships with others and everyone around us, but we've never actually taken the time to establish a secure relationship to ourselves. And that is the very first step on any path to transformation. So, as we move forward in this 100 days of alignment, in these last 40 days, these 5 weeks leading up to the new year, I propose that we start shifting the way we are meeting ourselves, because the way that we talk to ourselves, the way we show up for ourselves, the way we validate ourselves, and even the way we hold ourselves in difficult moments in time of struggle is the foundation of our entire lives. We have to learn to build a different relationship to ourselves and to where we are now before we try and shift or change anything in our lives. And so, as we move forward in these upcoming weeks, we are going to be talking all about how we actually do this from a very easy and sustainable place. How do we actually shift the way we are relating to ourselves? How do we build a more secure, attached, loving relationship to self? How do we learn to love where we are now, who we are now? How do we actually get to know and understand ourselves on a very deep and intimate level from a place of curiosity and not judgment? These are all things we're going to be talking about as we move forward. But I challenge you to really start looking at the way that you approach change and transformation, or just healing in general. Because if you are coming at it from a place of self rejection, self abandonment, or self criticism, it will never result in lasting, sustainable change. That self sabotage will always win out. I will catch you on the next one, everybody. Take care.